All right, guys, thank you for staying with us. Today, we're going to be speaking with David Rodriguez, El Niño, a boxer from El Paso, who has really done a great job in his career and has really been able to get to places where has brought the name of El Paso and brought us that attention that I think our city should have more often. David, how are you?
How are you, man?
I'm doing good. David, tell me a little bit about El Niño. How does this come about? You're telling me the newspapers gave you this.
Yeah. So when I was younger, when I just started boxing at 5 years old, 8 years old, and went up to I got my first newspaper article out when I was about 9.
Wow.
And when that happened, people just started calling me, "Hey, El Niño, at the boxing gyms." So then I just grew up with that name. Like, I never really asked for it. It was just, and then Louis Burke gave it to me as well. Louis Burke was like, just call you. You had I used to have a baby face.
Used to. He says he used
to. Now it's viejo.
Right.
But so then that just stuck with me, man.
Yeah.
And just went through all my amateurs, and Rocky Galarza called me that name, and Tom McKay, and Louis. I mean, all the area just called me that name. And I just blossomed. I've been boxing since I was a little kid, so the whole boxing community was behind me.
Right.
Coming up in El Paso in this area,
Tell me what that was like. I mean, it must have been an awesome experience, very comforting to have the city behind you. And at some point, there must have been an immense pressure on you.
Too much pressure. I was just boxing at first when I first turned pro. I was just boxing to get my frustrations out and my aggravations. I was a fighter in the sense that I wanted to fight everybody and everything. So I got into boxing, and my first 10, 15 fights I was just knocking guys out, like bam, 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 just killing people. And I was having fun.
Yeah.
The pressure started coming after about 15-0, 20-0, 25-0, and I kept knocking these guys out even faster.
Yeah.
So people were like, "Man, who is this guy? He's knocking out everybody."
Right.
And then that pressure just mounted, and then the El Paso community was starting to look at me. Yeah. And that's when it became more like, oh, I'm kind of not enjoying this. I'm not enjoying the pressure that was on me. I'll be honest with you, like, that was too much.
Yeah.
It was just too much.
How much of a factor was that to bringing you to your first defeat?
It was a big factor. I was burnt out. When I fought Darnell Wilson and I was already 36-0, I thought for sure I was going to get some kind of title shot or, get the right fight to get maneuvered for a title shot. But we were just making a lot of lateral moves, and I started getting burnt out, and I was feeling very tired, and I was 35, 36 at the time, and I've already blown through everybody, and I was stagnant in my career still.
Yeah.
So it was like, I just started slacking on my training and drinking more and being in bars and stuff, and then boom, and then and here's another thing too. This is what's really odd, is every fight I ever had, I was terrified.
Really?
I mean, they almost had to push me in my ass to get me through the ropes.
Wow.
I was terrified for every fight. Then that's what made me so much sharper and on point. I could bam, like the way I used to fight was just because I was scared.
Yeah.
And then when I lost that fear, that's when I lost.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So when I fought Darnell and Oching, I was sleeping perfectly. I was okay. I was not worried.
Yeah.
And then I lost.
Yeah.
So it's like when I dropped the ball, when my confidence was real high and I was untouchable, and boom, I lost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were just talking about how, probably weeks to that, we were out having
having shots and drinking. Yeah, I was getting to the point where I was out drinking and training.
Yeah.
And then that happens to a lot of fighters, unfortunately. It happened to Tyson, it happened to all them, but they were already heavyweight champions of the world. I'm still coming up, and people are like, "Oh, the Klitschko killer. This guy's like the White Tyson."
Yeah.
And that type of thing. And people would call me the White Tyson all day long, and it was like, man, dude, it was a lot of pressure, like it was coming down on me. So,
So to lose after feeling pretty much at your climax, what goes through your mind at that point?
Oh, everything, man. Like, I was going through some hard times. That's when it's like the demons come out, man. And my whole identity was this undefeated Superman.
Yeah.
And now I went from hero to zero like that.
Yeah.
And it killed me. It killed my character. It ripped my soul.
Has it now turned out to be one of the best things for you?
It was like a rebirth. Yeah. I mean, I became a very different person. I started wanting to help people in the community with like KO bullying and stuff like that. I started to wanting to do more outreach, helping homeless people, stuff like that, because I got humbled, massively humbled, and it stole my identity. First I got knifed. I got my throat slit open. And then shortly after that, I go lose twice. So my whole soul was ripped from me. Like, I didn't even know who I was anymore, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't, who is David?
Yeah.
I was always a boxer, like, who the hell is David Rodriguez? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
And that scared the living out of me.
What has been redefined?
I'm learning what I like again, you know? So it's like, not only did I have I almost died getting, slashed in the throat and then losing those fights. So I didn't know who I was. So what happened was I had to start rebuilding on my own, which was like reinvent myself, or what do I like? What don't I like? Because I've always just been boxing. So now I'm like, okay, I do kind of like to do that. No, I don't. Do I like to do this? No, I don't like to do that. And I'm trying to, so it's a journey right now. This is not easy.
It's still ongoing?
Oh, it's 100% ongoing.
Okay.
It's still a journey. So I always tell people, like, you're meeting a new David Rodriguez. This isn't the fighter anymore. But I'm very confused, and I'm trying to like work this out in my own head, but it's hard.
And so, is fight still in your future?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, look, I got stem cell replacement, and I didn't do that because I just wanted to walk.
Right.
I did that because I want to get back in the ring. So the only reason I want to get back in the ring is for my own personal legacy. You know, I don't like the way things ended, but at the same time, I'm the best heavyweight that ever come out of El Paso. I'm the best heavyweight to ever come out of virtually anywhere. I have more knockouts than first round knockouts than anybody in history. Yeah. You know, so that I know of. I mean, I think I was like number one, and then like I also had like the top 4 or 5 fastest knockouts in the world. So I did great things in boxing, but I still want to come back and finish that legacy for me.
So what do you feel will be different now as you find yourself in the ring?
I'm a much more mature fighter. I'm not going to rely so much on my power. You know, so when I was fighting, I was just like, I'm just going to blast through this guy, and I would have fun just knocking guys out. I'd always want to knock a guy out faster the next time than the last time.
Yeah.
And so I was in there, I had such a mindset that I was in there to knock guys out.
Yeah.
Quick. And like whoever beat him the fastest, I'm going to beat that guy the fastest. And then now I appreciate the art of boxing more, in the sense the sweet science. I would focus not so much being the bull, but I'd have to be more like the matador.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'd have to change it up a little bit, and like Foreman did in his 40s. You know what I mean? Foreman had to change up his whole style.
Yeah.
He was smarter. He was better, but.
Are we keeping up with the training?
Yeah. Right now, it was like I said, I just got the stem cells done, and I've been going to the gym with Herman Delgado. We've been hitting the mitts a little bit. We're just seeing where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll see. We'll see where this goes. I don't know what's going on with this virus and everything. So everything's been on hold. The reality show I was part of on Impact Television, which was Stars and Champions, that's been on hold. So, but I got to commentate on TV, and I got to be in a reality show. That was fun, but it's on hold right now until it picks up. And if I do come back and fight, it will be on that network.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more about this. Who have you commented on, and what's been the experience of doing TV?
Oh man, that's commentating on live TV is like, it's a different kind of adrenaline rush, because when I'm there, I'm talking with everybody, we're having casual conversation. I'll be like, so hey, how many people is this hitting again? And they'll be like, I think it's a few million. I go, live?
Whoa.
I was like, whoa. And then I heard it was 88 million households. So I'm like, so when they put the light on, they go, you can't miss a beat. You can't mess up your ABCs commentating. Yeah. And if you mess up your, like, you can have it, you think you might know what you need to talk about until the lights come on.
Right.
And then when they come on, you're like, and I have to stop myself and be like, all right, I'm just talking to friends. And I have to completely, change my mindset, psych myself out to go on TV. It's hard. Yeah. It's not easy. People think it's easy. It's not easy. Not for me.
It's incredible. It's almost like magic. I mean, a lot of times you get these very well-spoken guys, and as soon as I hit that record button,
boom, frozen.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like a deer in headlights, man. Yeah. I mean, I like the camera. I don't mind the camera, but man, when you have to be scripted and say certain things, you screw that up, man. Yeah, it's easy to screw that up.
So watching all these people fighting up there, of course, it's got to increment that itch to get back out there. Is there any signs of you determining, all right, I'm going to do this so in this time frame?
Like for next fights? Yeah, man, I'm kind of looking at, if I do get back in the ring, it'd be probably about June, July.
Oh, wow.
But like I said, I'm incrementally working towards it. Nothing's for sure, nothing's in stone yet. This would just be for me to finish off something that I started.
Yeah.
And that's it, it's completely spiritual.
Well, listen, David, I think El Paso has gotten to that point where we not just see the talent in you or adore the fact that you're from town, but also see the human factor of what happened and recognize that pressure. And I do believe that the city very much stands behind you on this, and this is something that
they stand behind me maybe on that, but not on my politics.
Oh, all right. Well, let's see. Let's talk about this. Tell me about your politics.
No, let's not go there. I don't need any more people trying to loiter my house. I don't need it, man.
Well, one side of you that I think people definitely need to be more aware of is this KO bullying. Tell me about this. How did this get started?
KO bullying was when I told you like all that bad stuff happened to me. I decided that I wanted to get back to the community, so I went into I really went into soul searching mode and found and looked at why. Like, you know, I wrote a book. I wrote When the Lights Go Up.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it's doing very well on Amazon. It's a bestseller up there. It's got 5-star reviews. And I don't tell people, I just say, just leave an honest review. That's all I say, leave an honest review. And I've got 5-star reviews all the way down for like 50 reviews. And so it's building, the book is getting bigger and bigger. And it's taken off, man. Like, cause I'm very raw and blunt in the book, right? Mm-hmm. So when I wrote that book, I said, you know what? Kids need to hear this message. Mm-hmm. So then when I was thinking kids need to hear it, I was like, okay, I want to start booking schools and doing stuff to tell my story. And maybe it can relate to a little kid out there in junior high or in high school that used to get picked on or called names, because we all did, you know, and then maybe they could say, wow, this guy used it to become a champion. Like, I don't have to take this in defeat. I don't have to be a victim. You know what I mean? I can be what's called a survivor and then thrive and become a hero. Right. You know what I mean? So we all need these things in life, like bullying, being bullied, to propel us sometimes. It's a necessary thing. Yeah. You know, you're picked last in dodgeball, big deal. You'll be picked first in the NBA, like Michael Jordan.
Right.
You know what I mean? Michael Jordan didn't even make his high school cut. Mm-hmm. So look at that. You got to think about that stuff. So I like to show that to kids and talk to kids about that.
Yeah, and it's perfect timing for that kind of message in a society where we've had a generational shift from being way oversensitive to those 13 to 16-year-olds kind of taking a step back and saying, all right, this is probably not working out.
Yeah.
And I think that's precisely the message that they're picking up on. I mean, it's perfect timing for it.
What?
Tell me more about what you're doing, aside from giving talks.
And I try to tell them that with the KO bullying that, listen, there's nothing wrong with self-defense. You know, there's not. You should learn self-defense.
Of course.
Especially in this unpredictable society we live in now with these viruses and things like that going on. Crime's going to spike. So people better learn how to stick up for themselves and do things. And that's what I try to implement in my talks as well at schools. Yeah. Is I talk about, hey, you better learn to self-defense. You better learn how to protect yourself. You don't need to take anything from someone who talks down to you or anything like that. You can stand your ground right there and tell them, no, I don't appreciate that, and learn to be assertive. So I teach all that stuff.
Yeah. And aside from the fighting factor, I think what people miss is the discipline that it takes for you to learn self-defense. A lot of times, it's that discipline that saves you from the situations. The ability to hold yourself back, the ability to respond and say, no, I won't take that, without having to necessarily throw a punch.
Right.
Just the fact that your confidence is there and allows you to speak up.
Body language is everything.
Exactly.
And confidence is everything. So, you know, you could be walking down the street and a predator will look at you and be like, oh, that guy has no confidence. He's inside. I'm going to attack that person. I'm going to get there. If you're walking out with your chest up high like you can do something, people think twice.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't think so, because there's going to be there might be a problem and I can't jeopardize what I'm doing or whatever. So I try to teach that as well to people.
Yeah. It's a great thing, because we've been in this dichotomy of whether we're alpha or beta or whatever. And I think it gets a little bit out of hand sometimes, because you know, there's a toxicity to that over masculinity, and a lot of times it's misread.
Right. But here's the thing: any extreme is too much.
Exactly.
You know, there's the extreme way over here and the extreme way over there. If you want to call this toxic, then this is really beta, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Name it. So it's somewhere you have to be in the middle, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't be way over here. I agree with toxic masculinity. You know, like, you know. That's way out there. I'm talking about bringing it into about middle.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Which is, once again, I believe that is exactly the message that these kids need to hear, specifically now when there's this shift. When we had, you know, that way extreme overreaction to things, you know, microaggressions and my feeling I need a safe zone. Now it's starting to shift, and before it gets to be to the other extreme to where we're, back in my year, we had kids now have anxiety and depression issues.
Yeah.
We had aggression issues.
Yeah.
And so before we get back to that, we need to let them know, there has to be a balance to this.
There
so I
has
believe
to,
your
man.
work is great. You're working with schools. What's next?
So everything's been canceled due to this virus. So
True.
So right now, I think the whole world is on hold right now. Like, what's going to happen here? And I have my theories on that, but whatever. I won't get into that on the show. No, but so now it's just schools have canceled. So I can't really we can't get into the schools right now. And listen, health comes first.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, we got to take those precautions and do all that. I'm just worried about how long this is going to last, and really what's in store for the American people, because this just doesn't. It's not looking right to me, and it's not showing very promise. This has hurt our economy, and things are about to get really rough, I believe, for everybody.
Well, I tend to always kind of look at the cup.
Half full?
Yeah, and I'm hoping this will all be kind of blown over in not long from now. Otherwise, it might be something that as we were talking earlier,
this could be done in 2 months, man. But I'm saying we're gonna still feel the ramifications from the economy.
Yeah, for sure.
For a long period of time. I mean, we thought 2008 was bad. I think this is way worse.
Ooh, may your words not come true, man.
So this is gonna be it. We're living in interesting times.
Yeah, that
very
is for sure.
Interesting times.
Very historic. This is something that we should all be aware of as well, and do whatever we can to be there for each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is not the time to, be egocentric.
Yeah. No.
So is this part of what you're teaching kids as well?
No, this that was just some random thoughts I had.
No, I mean in regards to not just being egocentric, but also being, there for others. Standing up for the weaker.
So after my life, way back. So back to what we were talking about. Yeah, I had to really soul search and go from there and feel like, what's my purpose? I want to help people. I want to help kids.
Right.
And I had to put all that aggression and focus I had in boxing, all of a sudden went to, let's see how much better I can make the community.
Yeah.
Because in the end, like right now, money's not going to matter, man. It's all what's in your soul and what you have as a person. So, I mean, I just started thinking, what's more important for me, man? I survived death twice. I don't know how. Mm-hmm. And then I was on the table almost dead, Mm-hmm. And then I lose my identity through losing in boxing. So I'm like, who am I now?
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I know to do is I still believe in God. So even though all that stuff happened to me, I'm like, I still love God. So I'm going to help give back to the kids. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a major test from the Lord above, because they wanted to see just how I would handle that situation. I think I passed it with it, I think with flying colors, because I don't know, I still gave back, and I still want to give back more.
Yeah, and that's I believe that nobody could really feel fulfilled without giving back, without finding a purpose that is beyond ourselves.
Absolutely. I think that's the goal for everybody, man. Like, especially right now, man, if the community is we're either going to come together or spread apart and live in fear and not help each other. Like right now is the time to start helping each other.
Yeah.
Like right now the community has to come together, Don't think about carjacking people or housejacking people. Think about helping people, you know what I mean? Because listen, there's going to be some desperate times right now.
Yeah.
People are losing their jobs, so this is serious, man. So let's see where that goes.
What about El Paso? You've been gone and you're back. What's changed? How's it feel?
Man, I love El Paso, man. I really do. It's my heart. It's home, man. It's just home. Like anywhere you can go to Vegas or Houston or all these big cities. It's not home. You can. It's just not El Paso. El Paso has that familia, man. That everybody. I could take a sleeping bag, go sleep in a corner, and feel good when I wake up. You know what I mean? Right. So El Paso just has that family vibe and essence, and it's just a good place to be.
You mean Vegas didn't feel homey?
That was the worst place to be, especially with what I was going through. No, that was not the place to be for me, man. I had to get out of there real quick.
Well, we're glad you're definitely involved in our community. We're glad to have you here, and we hope that we're able to continue to see you active, man.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens with all this chaos, but I think, I want to get back into school districts. I want to start working with the schools again, public speaking, the whole thing. I like helping people, man. So that's really what I'm all about right now. So, and the more I can do in the community, like being on your show, and I've been going to do some podcasts and things like that. I mean, everything's on hold right now, so might as well, go full speed on that.
Yeah, and the podcast, let's give him a plug. The plug was boxing?
Oh, I'm gonna be on the Warriors Edge boxing on Saturday. And Brandon Cohen, ESPN Radio on Saturday as well. So they're both coming out on this Saturday.
Very cool. So, what about doing TV in town?
Yeah, I'm open to anything, man. Let's have some fun.
You heard it.
It's always fun to pretend.
Bro, thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Dope.
Yeah.